Yeah, well,
It's because I'm sitting closer than I normally sit.
okay, so I think we're live. Let's see what
But that one works okay.
what are you doing?
I moved over.
Well,
No,
then I go out
no,
of the
no, you
picture.
go this way a little more. So that's all right, right?
Yeah, well, I can.
Otherwise, my head's too big. Well, I can move up a little further, but
Now your head's too big.
yeah, I know. So
Okay, well, hello everybody as we sit around here adjusting ourselves because, well, we have news to tell you why we're adjusting ourselves.
well, you may notice the sewing machine.
Yeah,
This,
so that's a hint. So hi Nancy, and we'll just wait here a couple of minutes to get other people in. Hi Teresa. And we'll see who else is joining us today. I feel very awkward in this setup, in this setting. I don't know. I had thought of moving the computer over this way
Well,
more,
you
but
could
then
do
I wouldn't
that.
have leg room.
Yeah, so
Well, I can move the. I can move. Man, it's gotta go the other way.
the other way. No.
No, didn't work that way. This isn't really working. Okay. Well, that didn't work.
Well, no, you'd have to move it over further. Okay,
Okay, that's a little better.
that's better.
Except your head's still chopped off. No, my head's chopped off.
It's your camera's
Oh, wait,
pointing
wait.
down.
Let's go. Okay.
So now we can't read anything.
Yeah, now we can't read the comments. I can read them from here, but sort of. No, this thing's not. Okay, people, we're just having technical difficulties beyond our control. Okay, I can read comments from there.
Well, I can read them as they come up.
Oh, okay, so you can see them. Okay, so let's see who's all here. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Patsy. Hi, Kathleen. That's fine, Kathleen. You gotta eat. Marilyn's here. Angel's here. Hi, Angel. B&D is here.
Billy Weatherall.
Billy's here. Marlene is here.
Marilyn. Yeah, okay, we saw Marilyn.
Yeah, we saw Marilyn. She's there. Okay, so we've got everybody here. Okay, so yes, we're in a little bit more cramped. I have to work on this. But the sewing room the craft room has been cleared out. You saw fabric in the background. Hi, Cindy. And I've got my sewing cutting bench, whatever you want to call it. This is my embroidery machine behind Walter on one end. My sewing machine's at the other end. My second sewing machine's at another table at the other end. I've got a pressing mat or pressing area now down at the other end. All the craft stuff is gone. I had Shop Steven's Stash event this week with the ladies that I get together regularly for art journaling. And they came over and they were a little shy at first. They were also a little overwhelmed because the whole rec room, I had tables set up and I had stuff there. I had stuff in here. And I said to them, go to town, fill up your boxes, your bags. You cannot leave until you have 500 pounds of stuff in every bag. And once they got over the initial shock and the initial feeling like that they were rating things and everything like that, I said, be greedy. I want you. And they were so afraid that, oh, well, you might need this. I said, nope. I haven't used a lot of this stuff in several years. So, if it doesn't bring you joy, get rid of it. So, yeah, they took out literally 2 of them had half-ton trucks and they filled the back of their trucks. So that gives you an idea of how much stuff I got rid of. A lot. And I still have some leftovers that we're taking to Value Village. There is stuff that's just garbage.
Yeah, like I've been going to the landfill site regularly, and then anything that Steve could give away, he gave away, and anything.
Okay, this is not working.
Well, your thing.
I know. Well, it's not sticking. Anyways, you keep talking. I'll try to adjust this.
And then
piece of
anything
crap.
that we thought was salvageable that we couldn't give away, I took to the Value Village. So that's because the thing fell over and you spilled beer all over yourself.
I'm quite aware of what I did. Thank you. Thank you for being so observant. Wet my pants too with the beer. God. Okay, I have to rethink now how this is going to work in the future. So, anyways, what are people saying? Yes, we've been very busy, Billy, and I'm very sore. Boy, do you ever feel your age when you do this?
Yeah, like I have this ancient table saw, and I've decided to get rid of it because I don't use it that often anyway. So, and it's actually my dad's, and my dad got it secondhand when I was a little kid. So it gives you the idea how old it is. But this thing weighs an absolute.
Oh yeah,
ton.
I don't know how we're going to get it. Well,
and actually, I don't remember how we actually got it over here.
No, I don't remember how that worked either.
I know I had a truck at the time, and I picked it up from my parents' place, and I don't know if we took it out in one piece or if it came in a couple of pieces, but it...
we were 20 years younger, 25 years younger.
And I remember sort of that it was heavy, but I don't remember it being as heavy as it is right now.
Well, it was, and it is. So, yeah, we're on our way to getting things set up for the arrival of the long arm. Now, we have not been told yet when that may be, but, you know...
You're supposed to be getting a call sometime this week.
Yeah, this week I will hear more definite about it from the company. Because they told us when we went on Wednesday, it would probably take them 5 days or so to get to us. And of course, there's been a weekend in between, and that was Wednesday. So, and we have gotten a confirmation from them that our order is there. So they're working out all the logistics and everything, whatever they have to do. And then we'll get it. Can you find someone to come and pick it up for you?
No, this thing is ancient, and it's heavy as hell. And I don't think anybody would want it. Plus, there's a piece of it that's missing that you really need to use to cut wood with, and it's basically, there's no safety design on this thing.
It's ancient.
So this thing's old and it's really heavy, and I've been taking it completely apart so that I can take it apart in pieces.
Well, you said your father bought it secondhand when you were a little kid.
Yeah, well, my parents I was 3 when they bought the house that they were in. And my dad bought it when I was a little kid. I can't remember a time when he didn't have it. And he bought it secondhand at the time. So that was they moved into the house in 1963. So it was it was probably in the late 50s that this thing was built, if not earlier.
Well, if not earlier, yeah. Yeah, well, oh, hi, Jeannie. Hi, Bonnie. Yeah, so... there's still other crap in there. It's looking better. We'll get it done. I'd say this time next week, we should pretty much have that hole cleaned out. Wait for it. But I'm so tired of doing decluttering and everything else, but it has to be done. Like Wendy says, she loves doing that. Well, where were you when I started this project, Wendy?
Plus, the landfill site that we have is is about a mile away from here. Actually, less than a mile away from here.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Actually, the subdivision we're in is located right next door.
Yeah, and we're not far from the Value Village for dumping off stuff there. But oh my goodness, they're so picky, these places now. Walter tried to take some Christmas decorations to them.
There were brand new Christmas decorations that I had sitting in a corner that I never used, and like the balls and stuff, and they were still like they were in the original packaging and everything. And I took it to Value Village, and they go, "Oh, it's too early to take Christmas stuff."
Yeah, and you can't take anything over them that one person can't lift.
Yeah, any furniture. They used to take furniture, but I had a chest of drawers that I took from my parents' place that was solid wood, and I couldn't get. I would try giving it away to my family, but they didn't want it. So, I thought, okay, I want to donate it. I don't want to just.
Hi, Jackie.
So I called Value Village, and they said, well, only if somebody, because of COVID restrictions, only if one person can lift it. So then I phoned Missions for Bibles or Bibles for Missions or whatever. It's a religious organization that Bibles for, what is it?
Missions for Bibles.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
So they said, well, we'll have a look at it and see if it's worthwhile to resell.
Well, I do get that to a certain extent because some people probably take broken things and that are crap and all that, and
I want to just dump it.
and
off.
they're not in the business of refurbishing it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I could see that as a point. But it's a lot of these charities now. It's like, if you do a run for cancer, stuff like that, you have to have a minimum amount that you are pledging, you're raising before they let you do it. It's not like the old days where, someone came to your door and you gave them $2 or something. Now they want a minimum donation.
Like I think, I don't know what they're doing now with COVID, but with before COVID restrictions, there was like a breast cancer run every year or something like that. And you needed a minimum of like $2,000 in donations before they'd even let you join it.
So these other places like Value Village, you used to go there and you could pick up some real bargains on things. I used to buy canvases there when I was doing mixed media. And I'd buy, canvases that had already been painted on, but they were like starving artist ones or something like that. You'd get them for like 99 cents, $1.99, that kind of thing. Well, no. Now they're like $6.99 for a little one and up and that. So, and their book prices, you used to be able to go over there and pick up a whole bunch of like hardback books or whatever, or paperbacks that were in good condition. Well, they've upped the price on all of those too, to start with, and the clothes. There aren't any real bargains to be had at Value Village anyways.
Worst comes to worst, if I couldn't find a home for that dresser, I could just put it in one of the local advertisements and say, free, come take it.
Yeah. Well, Wendy's got a good method. She said, okay, here's how you do that. You deliver it when nobody's around. You drop off and run. Drop and run. Yeah, really. Teresa says they have a home for battered women that takes furniture and different things. Yeah, now somebody back up earlier, I was going to answer it, said, well, now you have a lot more space. Not really.
No,
don't really have more space. You would think so. If you actually saw, well, I actually took video.
I took out a pile of stuff out of the crawl space too. Of course, I filled some stuff back.
Well, yeah. But, yeah, I took video of the stages of all this. I'm going to put it together as one video when we get, more of it done and that kind of thing. But you won't believe the amount of craft stuff I had. These ladies, they were still going on today because we had an art journal meeting, art journaling group meeting, and they were all like still trying to figure out where they're going to store all of their booty. Well, there was a lot. Some of them were taking out, I had paper. I had a lot of 12 by 12, 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I had paper pads, for scrapbooking, like all kinds of them. I had about 4 boxes of all that stuff together, large boxes. And at one point, one of the ladies said, like they were picking through and taking 2 sheets of this and 2 sheets of that. And I said, take handfuls of it. And then the one says, what if I was to take the whole box? I said, anybody here object to that? They said, no, they got what they wanted. I says, take the box. And she went out with probably retail value of paper pads, probably $400 to $500. And because each one of those pads ran anywhere from about $30 to $50 a piece, and there were quite a few in there. And she also took a whole box of 12 by 12 cardstock, which was in all kinds of different colors and printed and solids and the whole bit. So yeah, she did well. She did well. But that's okay. I'm not complaining. I wanted it out.
Well, not only that, you're giving it to somebody that could use it, probably. And even if they couldn't use it, they can always give it to somebody else if they wanted to and not feel weird because they paid money for it.
Yeah, and that's why I contacted them first. Because, I was going to take the paper, if there was any left over, to the local elementary school. Because back about 8 years ago, I did a major declutter, and I did that then as well. But it means I have to lug it. And I'm all about other people doing the lugging. And I know these ladies appreciate it, and they're all big into doing all this kind of stuff. And I was very happy for them to take it. And I gave away a Cricut. as well, because I have a Cricut maker, and I had a Cricut that Walter bought me for my birthday several years ago, the Explorer, and I never used the Explorer at all. The only thing that really pissed me off with Cricut, and if you have a Cricut, you might know what I'm talking about. You used to get on the old Cricut, you'd buy cartridges, and they would fit like almost look like a game cartridge, and it would fit into a slot in the machine, and you had a screen on the machine, and this is where you did most of your planning. Then they went to the Explorer ones that are all run by computer. You tie into a free design software from Cricut, and it works that way. And if you have cartridges, well, you could still plug them in into the Explorer and use the Explorer, but you had to use it through your computer. But you also linked the cartridges up to their website, so they're linked. Well, I discovered I had, oh, geez, literally several hundred cartridges, which represented a whole lot of money because I was using the cartridges at one point in time, even after I linked up. Well, guess what? You can't unlink them. They are linked to you for life. Nobody else can ever use them. What a waste. I had boxes of these things, and there is no way. I did many, many searches for it, and everybody came up with the same thing. You can't unlink them once they've been linked. So unless I gave somebody my account information, that's the only way they'd probably be able to use it. Well, I'm not going to give somebody my account information for obvious reasons. So I figured, well, we're going to have to throw them out. Well, one lady was here getting stuff, and she talked about the Cricut, and I said, oh, well, which Cricut do you have? Well, she had one of the old Cricuts that would take cartridges and didn't need the computer. So I gave her the cartridges. Now, Walter had already taken some to the dump, and there because we didn't think they were any good for anybody. But she still got quite a haul on those, and she was happy as a pig, and you know what? With that one, I was really happy that.
Yeah, because I took some to the dump, but I didn't realize, except for one maybe small box, that they were actually Cricut cartridges until I was dumping them, and I saw a couple of them fall out of the bag. And but there was a box of them in the laundry room, and I thought, well, no, I'll just leave. Actually, in my mind, I thought, well, I'll just leave them. You never know, somebody might be able to use them.
And well, somebody was, so I was really happy about that. Because, and so was she, because she just got a wealth of those. Because those cartridges used to range in around about an average about $50 a cartridge.
Yeah, so that box held quite a few of those.
Oh yeah, there was a lot in there. She got probably about 50 cartridges, if not more, in that box. So yeah, she did well on that. Well, I'm glad. She was so happy about it. They were like kids at Christmas, and it was kind of fun to watch them going through everything. And of course, I was helping them select, because they say, "Did you see this? Did you see that?" and everything. So, anyways, that was good this week, and we got rid of all that kind of stuff. I saw a comment here. Oh, hi, Janice. Jeannie says, when will the long arm be delivered? We have no idea.
Actually, that's kind of complicated because we purchased an APQS, and to get an APQS in Canada, at least the way we're doing it, it has to be delivered from the United States from the factory, which is, I'm not sure where it is. It's Iowa or something like that.
No, somewhere.
And it's in one of the northern states, but I can't remember where. So our order went to the manufacturer, and then depending on how long it takes them to how their manufacturing process, how many they have in stock, they have to get back to us and contact us, and then we have to pay them directly, and they also arrange for shipping up to us, so we have to pay for shipping, and we have to pay for duties, whatever that is. But actually, I think it works out to we have to pay our own taxes on it.
Yeah. And
there's a brokerage fee, but apparently the brokerage fee is only about $65 or something. So we have to get all that process done. And the lady at the store said that they usually take 5 to 7 days to call it 5 to 7 business days to call us back. So we put the order in on Wednesday. So it'll either be Wednesday or Thursday that they might contact us to arrange the rest of the stuff. I guess there's paperwork to be done and everything else. So it may take a few weeks. They said that once everything's paid and all the paperwork is done and everything else, that it usually takes about 5 to 7 days for them to ship it. And then I don't know how long it takes to get to us. So it's still a few weeks away. So
yeah, which is fine. We need the time.
Which is fine because it's getting there, but we still have a lot to clean up. So once by the time it gets here, we will. By the time it gets here, we should be in a position to take it. So
yes, Bonnie, we know you missed the show where we decided to get the long arm, and we were so disappointed in you. We really were, Bonnie. You should have been here. Sorry, you'll have to watch.
So it doesn't bother us that there's a delay because it gives us a chance to clean everything up. For it
we need the time for it. I mean, we're not in a hurry. Yeah, it is exciting, Bonnie. Yeah, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some of my UFOs done once we get that and all hooked up. Of course, there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, and the lady that is the salesperson for this and also runs the business Whirls and Swirls, which is a place here. She has a YouTube channel. You can check her out. It's called Whirls and Swirls.
And she does a lot of tutorials on
there.
Yeah, actually
she's really good. She's very, very good. Yeah. We've taken a couple of courses with her when we were first getting into this, when we rent the machine from her, because it's mandatory that you take this course to learn how to use the machine, which is logical when you're renting time on her machine. But she told us that once we get our machine in that, then she has a 1-day course for us to come to, where she talks about, general setup, maintenance, troubleshooting, all that kind of stuff with it as well. So anyways, that'll be good.
We went to this company because we've used the machines. We've taken a couple of courses there. We know that the person that owns this store is very helpful. And we got used to using these machines, and we liked using them. Yeah. So that's why we chose this particular place. And the lady that does the store has lots of YouTube videos on how to do certain quilting patterns and everything, how to set up your machine. And she also has published books that she sells on Amazon.
Yeah, and everything like that. Yeah. So yeah, she's very good with all this, so we're very comfortable with dealing with her. But yeah, when it does arrive, it comes in 6 boxes, some assembly required, but apparently it's fairly easy to put together. So
actually, if you watch Just Get It Done Quilts, she purchased one from the same company as well, and she's got a video on setting it up.
Yeah,
so
she set it up herself.
Yeah, so it's basically you got to put the frame together, and then you have to mount the machine to the frame. So
yeah, but anyways, yeah. So we're looking forward to that. Now, I was telling my hairdresser about this, and she was going on, and a lot of people say this. Well, you're going to do this as a business then to recoup your cost and that? And I said, no way am I going to do this as a business. One, I'm not good enough, not even close to good enough to quilt somebody else's quilt on a long arm. I mean, when I quilted my own quilts that I did quilt on a long arm when we rented time, I used a pantograph, which is basically a pattern that you follow with a laser light, and as you follow the pattern, the needle does its thing in that. There's no way that I could do it for somebody else. And second of all, even if I get a little better at the whole bit, I wouldn't, because when people are paying you and getting a quilt long-armed by somebody who knows what they're doing, they charge a lot. They charge by the inch or by 3-inch blocks or something like that. So it's going to cost you several $100s, depending on the size of the quilt and the intricacy of the pattern, to get that quilt done by somebody else who knows what they're doing. Well, if you're going to pay that kind of money, you expect perfection, don't you? I would. So
well, not only that, the size of frame that we're buying isn't big enough to handle a king size quilt.
It'll
So,
handle up to a queen
up
size.
to a queen size. It's not. We're getting a 10-foot table instead of a 12-foot table, mainly because of space.
Yeah.
And but you know, we were told basically if you wanted to do it commercially, you really need a 12-foot table so you can handle doing a king size quilt. And we have no intention of doing that. Worst comes to worst, if we ever have to do a king size quilt, we can rent time at
We'll
the
just rent
local
time
house.
down at her
So,
place. But I have yet to date make a king size quilt. The largest I've made are queen size. So
yeah, Billy says right. You know, sew and quilt for your own enjoyment. I don't want a job.
yeah.
I know once you start doing it as a job, you're gonna hate it.
Well, people,
So,
I think the reason people say that is because of the expense. How much you're spending on something like this. I mean, it's not, I could buy a car, you know,
No, you
almost.
can't.
Well, not really. I haven't bought a car in how many years?
for with this, you can't even buy a cheap car.
Yeah,
for this, so.
whatever. But anyways, so yeah, it's just for our use and whatnot. Now I saw something here. Where did I see a comment? I can't see because of the cameras there. Something about Walter. Oh yeah, here.
Oh, about me. Andy asked if I would start. Yeah, actually, I'll probably do some practicing and stuff like that on it because the quilting part is actually the part that I like, that interests me the most.
Yeah, and you want to know something? He'll sit down and he'll play with it late into the night,
yeah.
early morning, when I'm tucked into bed, all sleepy, and it'll be beautiful. He'll be sitting there doing feathers. Oh, look at this! These are easy. Oh, isn't that nice?
I don't know if it's that easy. So anyway, but yeah.
Of course, if you don't piece the quilt, you won't have anything to.
I mean, Bonnie, we could probably. There is room that we could probably put a bigger one in. The room we've chosen, we could probably squeeze a 12 into it, but it's a bit squishy. So but we decided to just go for the 10 because.
Well, you want to have also at least a foot at each end so you can walk around the machine. Although she did tell us we could take one end and press it right up against the wall. You just go around the other side. And we may end up doing that because Walter's workbench is still in there. He still needs the workshop to a certain extent. So, I mean, the more room we have at that end.
This is an area that's an unfinished area in our basement. And we could have put it in a finished area. And the only thing is you'd have this monster machine sitting in the middle of your finished area, your basement.
Yeah.
So we didn't really want to do that. So this is a better solution for us.
Because they are not beautiful machines. They are an industrial machine. And if we had set that out in our rec room when we were talking about, it would just be a monstrosity. It would make us feel like our space has been cramped and everything. And that's why I didn't want with it.
I mean, the place that we're putting that, there's a reason we're going through all this cleanup is because the spot that we were putting it in was full of crap.
Yeah, literally.
And so it's basically we have to either throw out or relocate the crap. So
yeah, Bonnie says just buy a bigger house.
So it's in one way it's good because it's a forced cleanup. So
yeah. Jackie says, did you look at sit-down quilting machines? I have looked at them, and I had been thinking about the possibility since I've been having much better luck with my setup where I was basically making my sewing machine into sort of a sit-down quilting machine. But the problem with a sit-down machine is you are still pushing fabric under it.
Not only that, like Marilyn says, you still have to sandwich it.
Yeah.
Your quilt. Whereas on the long arm machine, you can sandwich your quilt right
on the machine, and that gets rid of your bumps and bulges that have potentials for tucks and everything. Also, those sit-down machines are not cheap. You can spend as much as $10,000 plus on one of those as well. So, yeah, I did think about it though. But really, as I told you last week, we decided we weren't going to buy one of these because we looked at things and thought got cold feet on it. And then, of course, he's an enabler, and I'm very easily led. And he did more measurements and figured out other things and thought we should go for it and use some logical reasons for it. And yep, so we're doing it. We're making the plunge. But boy, this clean out. It's been needed for a long time. This clean out. So that's kind of a, what do you want to call it? A byproduct of getting this thing.
It's an incentive.
It's
Well,
an
actually, not an
incentive.
incentive. Actually, it's an incentive for us to do clean out. So, which
Well,
we
we have
really
no
needed
choice.
to
We
do
have to
that.
do it.
So,
Yeah. And, I was asked if I was really, you asked me, said, am I upset about getting rid of all my crafting stuff? No. You know why? I saved a little bit. And even that, I'm thinking when I start doing the fine tuning here in my cupboards and stuff. Right now, what I've done is to keep things up and out of the way that I'm keeping, I just put them wherever I could, kind of a thing. Now I need to start going through and really fine organizing all of that stuff so I have an idea where I put it. But, I look at it this way. If I decide that I want to, say, make a book or a journal or something at some time in the future, I can always buy what I need to do that. Or as my friend said, well, you know where your stuff is. You can always borrow it back, kind of a thing. But I don't think those days are done. I did that for 20 years, and I haven't done any of that majorly in quite a while. Like, I used to put up videos. Remember, if you watch my vlog, you would see a section where what I was working on now, kind of a thing. Well, now I've switched that over to travel. And I'm also seriously thinking of something else that I'm changing. I haven't told Walter this yet. I'm seriously thinking of stopping doing the vlog. And because the Idiot Quilter seems to be where I'm getting more views in our live, we would continue doing that. But I don't know. I mean, I do the vlog and I try not to repeat what I'm going to talk about on Idiot Quilter. And sometimes that's not easy. So I don't know yet. I haven't made a decision on that yet. But anyways, so yeah, it's needed. Maren says the nice thing also is not to have set up tables to make your quilt. So is that correct? Yep. It eliminates that step. You throw down your backing fabric onto the rollers of the long arm. There's some things you have to do. You have to hook them into the leader, what they call the leaders and everything. And then you throw on your batting, and then you throw on, and they call it floating, your top on top of that. And then you have to smooth it all out. You have to roll it up, and then you baste it with the actual needle on the long arm, and you go along the top and down on the sides, and you don't do the whole quilt at once, just the first section of it, and then you go ahead and quilt. And then you have to roll up. It depends. This has a 26-inch throat, which means you have 26 inches of quilt when you start with that you can have under the throat, which is good.
Well, the thing is you also have to account for the fact that part of the throat's taken up by the rolled up part of the quilt.
Well, I was getting to that.
Oh, okay.
I said it started. There's certain words in my vocabulary you don't focus on. Yeah, okay. So then when you've got your first couple of rows done and you can't do any more, you have to roll the quilt and it goes under the throat. So as your quilt gets thicker, you have less space to quilt on until the end. So yeah, but that works. And we have the one that we bought has automatic, like powered advance on it, which is a nice feature to have. And we can do pantographs on this as well. It has the laser light and the handles at the back and the table and everything like that. I mean,
we did not get the computerized option because that's quite pricey. And,
computerized options over $10,000.
But if you want to do a simple pattern, you can use a pantograph too.
Yeah.
So.
And the other thing is, if you have the computerized, are you going to learn how to actually use your machine? Maybe down the road. That might be something we can always get it later and add it on.
Apparently, it's not that hard to add it on.
No. Bonnie says we priced out a couple of trips and think a long arm might be about the same as maybe 2 big trips. Yes, Bonnie.
Well, actually, a long arm is less than some of our big
Uh,
trips. We had one big trip that we did to Australia and did a
yeah.
cruise and everything else, and that trip ended up costing us $30,000.
Yeah,
So
that was a $30,000 cruise. This is only going to be about $22,000 Canadian by the time we get the taxes and the shipping and all that stuff. And that's one reason how we're justifying this.
I mean, we haven't been able to travel in over a year now, and we
Over a year.
our year.
It's almost
Or
an
two-
18. It'll be 18
yeah,
months on
2
September
years.
15th that COVID
So that would have
started.
been two $20,000 trips.
Jeannie says it might be a good So Chatty episode to share your learning curve with the long arm. Oh yeah, we will do that. We will do stuff when it comes in and everything like that. And we'll show the whole process and what we learned and what we screwed up and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it is exciting. But I'm not like a kid waiting for Christmas to come, counting down the days with this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited, but I'm not so excited that I can't wait a little bit for it to show up. We've been talking about getting a long arm for a while, and I mean, not seriously, but we have been talking about getting a long arm for a while. So yeah, now that we've got it, we'd like it to come, but then we've also got this thing that we need to clean up our rooms for it to accept it. So I don't want to get it and have it sitting in the basement waiting for us to clean up the room type thing to put it in. So
yeah, so we're doing it. Bonnie says the one trip we were looking at was 24,000. So yep, that would pay for it. Yep. And
yeah, well, trips are expensive. By the time you pay for your flight and your accommodation and the things you're going to do and all that other stuff, it may sound like you're not going to be spending that kind of money, but you actually can spend a lot if you're doing, especially if you're going someplace exotic. So
yeah, and the other thing too is we anticipate that the earliest we'll be able to travel again might be next summer. Maybe. I don't know. Things are not looking that great right now with what they're talking about. I guess they found a new variant and the kids have gone back to school. So you know how I feel about that. Did you get your 3D printer working again? What were you going to say?
Oh, no. And plus, I'm not really all that comfortable traveling to a foreign country yet during a pandemic, just in case you did get sick while you were somewhere else.
And if we do, when we do travel again, it's going to be within our own country, we think.
For initial trip,
yeah. Billy says, did you get your 3D printer working in? Well, let me tell you about this, Billy. You can't see it right now, but over here off of this side, I have three 3D printers. Now, you're going to say, why? Well, let's see. One works. One I have not gotten to work yet. I put a new power supply in. It's not doing it. And to be honest, I haven't done anything more with it because we've been busy doing this other stuff. And so once I get this out of the way, then I'm going to go back and seriously get onto the printers. But the reason I have three is because one of the ladies that was over here, her son came over as well. And I know her son, Richard. And was asking him, I says, so your mom tells me you got a 3D printer as well. Now, when I say it's her son too, he's an adult. He's a married man with he just had his first child a year ago or so. But so we're not talking about a teenager here, okay? So he said, yeah, he's got the same one I have, except he has an earlier version of it. I have the version 2. He had the original version. He says, yeah, I don't use that one anymore. He says, and I was telling him about the problems I was having with this one. He said, well, you can have my other one. It works fine. He says, it's just that I don't like trying to level it. So he bought a different one altogether, a much more expensive 3D printer, one that's easier for him to level the bed. I don't have any problem leveling the bed or anything like that. And I said to him, well, I'll pay you for it. And he says, no. He says, look how much stuff my mother's getting here in the whole bit. And they filled a truck. A half-ton, his half-ton. And ironically, as an aside to that, the lady that was here, his mother, Carol, she owns the local scrapbooking store that's here as well. But she wants to, get into using a lot of the Tim Holtz stuff and things like that because she wasn't really into it before, and I had a lot of it. because there's become a real demand for it in her store. And she runs classes online and everything like that too. So she wants to play around with, the stuff. And so, why invest in something you might not use further if you can get it for free, kind of bit. But that's fine. I give it to her. So he brought it over, and it does turns on, but I haven't done anything with it yet. There's a few things I need to adjust on it that I know that it needs, and one of the problems why you might have been having trouble leveling it too is there's those springs, and those need to be replaced with proper ones and that. But as for the other one that I haven't been able to get working, I put the new power supply in, nada. So I don't know. I've done some research. I'm not finding anything helpful on it. So when my mind is a little bit clearer, I will play with it some more. But right now I have 3 of them sitting over here on a bench and all lined up, all ready to go. So my sewing room also has a 3D printer mill in it as well, if I ever get it to work okay. Jackie says, how much thread do you think you may start with? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jackie, but we have a lot of thread. A lot of thread. But we will, I don't know, and the thread that we have a certain brand that will work fine with a long arm. But we'll probably invest in some that she uses, the lady at the Worlds and Swirls. To compare. She uses Glide. Glide is a good name in thread. It's one that a lot of people use in long arms and whatnot. So yeah, that's a new learning curve. We'll have to play around with that. And well, you need a lot of thread and you have a long arm. So you go through a lot. Bonnie says, it's been a while and not sure if I should ask, but how is Mom doing?
She wasn't doing so good, but she was doing a little better.
She did, yeah. On Tuesday, we went over. It was our turn. My sister tried to get out of going over to see her. It was, she was going to go over and see her and said, well, you can just do a FaceTime or whatever. I said, no, I can't. Because I've booked all my FaceTimes through the home for every other week. And their system is such that if you cancel one, it doesn't seem to translate into the staff member that's going to my mother's room with the iPad to do the FaceTime. And everything gets all screwed up. So I said to my sister, don't worry about it. If you can't, my sister had some plans and she was getting ready for it because it was, the week before was the Labor Day. So anyways, she did end up going over and seeing her, but I saw her first through FaceTime. She was in bed, oxygen thing stuck up her nose. Oh, no, we went over. And there she was laying in bed with the oxygen thing stuck up her nose. But she was fairly coherent, although I could hardly hear her. She talks like this. And, but she had good color. And I asked her, I said, how you feeling? She says, oh, I feel a lot better. And I thought, well, that's positive. She was being very responsive to things that I was, telling her and everything like that. So anyways, I came away thinking, okay, well, this is a good sign. I mean, yeah, she's failing, but at least she's going to have good days and bad days. Well, my sister went to see her, or to talk to her on FaceTime with her later in the week. And she says she was right out of it. She didn't know who I was. My sister. She didn't know who my sister was. My sister said, well, maybe she was having trouble seeing it on the iPad or whatever. And she said when she started to talk about her kids, my mother's grandkids and that, she seemed to perk up a little bit. But I never know, because it always seems when my sister sees my mother or does a FaceTime with her, it's always very negative. And yet, the next day I see her, talk to her, I don't get all of that. But generally speaking, no, she's not good.
She's existing.
Yeah. So,
we went through a rough stage with her. She went to the hospital and all other stuff.
Yeah.
But she's, because she had low oxygen level and stuff. And they still give her some oxygen, but I don't think they're giving her a lot. But
no. So I don't know. And she did say to me, something about, well, she wasn't on the oxygen anymore. I said, Mom, it's up your nose. It's still there. Oh, okay. So, anyways, it is what it is, and yeah. And now they're swabbing us now. I guess there was an outbreak at one of the nursing homes in our area, not theirs, but they're taking all the precautions, which is one thing that I think is really good about this particular nursing home outfit that my mother's in, because they always seem to be very proactive about things. So when we got in there, they said, okay, so you can come over here and sit down. They have partitioned chairs and everything, and they're going to swab us. Well, I've not been swabbed before. We've never been tested at any time.
I think it's a rapid test.
But they did a rapid test because they didn't stick it right to the back of my brain with it. Like, this is what I heard they do. I don't know. Maybe they don't really do that. I don't know. But they just sort of swirled it in my nose, and then we sat there for about 15 minutes or so until they, whatever, I guess it changes color or something. I don't know. It's either that or turns a certain color and I'm pregnant. I'm not sure which. But we were fine, and so we could go up and see her. Bit of a pain in the ass, but it has to be done. Because this other nursing home, they had what, 3 cases?
No, the one that they have 30 cases.
Oh, what, they have 30 now?
Yeah.
At Hillsdale?
And 8 of them were staff.
Whoa. 30 cases and 8 were staff. Okay, there's a problem. And we've talked about this many times before. Why are they allowing staff to work that haven't been double vaxxed?
I mean, they take all this precaution with that. Well, they must be taken. They take all this precaution with us.
Mm-hmm.
We're going in, and then, like, when they first said you expressed thing, you said when we first went in and had to show proof that we were double vaxxed, you asked how many of the staff were double vaxxed.
And I didn't get an answer on that one. So, and I still don't really know. So, anyways, but yeah. So that was an interesting new development. So, needless to say, what have we been working on?
Well, I've been working on cleaning up stuff. I still have my jean jacket sitting there waiting for it to be top stitched on and the buttons put on.
But you don't have any classes right now, do
No,
you?
right now our classes we're taking a holiday on classes until the end of October because the guy that's teaching the classes, I think he needs a break. And the other thing is that he's busy organizing classes for Ron Collins to come and teach us.
And when do those start?
They're 3 days in October, and I still have to do my muslin, but I'll have to get we're getting to the point where I think we're getting more cleaned up, so I'll be able to get to that. So.
Well, I'm itching to get back to doing my Christmas sewing and getting all that stuff, but of course, I have to wait until I get everything cleaned up first because it's got to be done, and so I will, and then I'll get on with that. But that's about all that we've been doing. So, the Idiot Quilter Retreat, I talked about it last week. That's on September the 24th and 25th. Cocktail party on the 24th. The retreat, 25th. Oh, I got the hiccups now. September 25th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've already had almost 40 people tell me they're planning to come. It's not a pre-registration. I just asked for people, if they wouldn't mind, just send me a little message saying they're planning to come so that I have an idea, a statistic for statistical purposes for that. So I have put in the show notes for this one today. Once it goes to rebroadcast, there'll be 3 links. There's a link for the cocktail party on the 24th. There's a link for the retreat on the 25th. And there is an FAQ link that will tell you all the particular details you need to know. And that just takes you to my Google Drive so you can download it as a PDF. So it's all there. And I hope that's not that far away. That's only 2 weeks away. So yeah, I have some things I need to do for that too in all of this. So that's coming up. So hope to see some of you there for that, if not all of you. Let's see. Well, we've talked a lot about a lot of these things. So on my list, what have you been watching on TV? Same old, same old. What did we watch last night? Oh, C. Second season of C is out. Again, it's pretty
on
good.
Apple TV.
On Apple. Oh, yeah, I saw it on Apple TV. And did we watch anything?
I think we watched a movie, but I can't remember.
I can't remember what the movie was. It was a comedy, wasn't it? It was right out of the mind.
Yeah, I can't remember the name.
Can't remember what it was.
It was something about some girl having accidental death, and she.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forget what that.
It was okay, but
it was all right. Well, we watched on Apple TV too. They had a musical version of a modern musical version of Cinderella, kind of a thing. It was, it was supposed to be a bit of a comedy. I don't know. It was okay.
It was okay.
It's what I call an amusing time waster. And let's see. Have you been cooking anything this week? Oh, you made tomato sauce from our tomatoes.
Mm-hmm. More or less. I added regular sauce to it as well.
I did do a little video of that, which is going to go up on the vlog tomorrow. But
and yesterday we grow these peppers.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
They were supposed to be kind of hot peppers, and one we have that I pulled them off, and they're not hot at all. But then the other one I pulled off yesterday. Oh my God, my hands all went numb. I was handling it. My hands went all numb. And then this morning, that was like yesterday, even this morning, I was putting my contact lenses in, and my eyes were stinging really bad from the residue that was on my hands. So I probably threw that in. It's a little bit too hot for me.
Well, your tomato sauce, in the process that you were making that, would you do that again?
No, actually, I probably needed a press to do that, but because they got more of a juice than a sauce. So, but I mean, the other
you used it as the base in the sauce.
The other part of the problem is I didn't really have enough tomatoes. So,
yes, our chipmunks have been gnawing away on them at certain parts, but we didn't grow that many. I mean, we had enough for salads throughout.
Have you seen Alone on the History Channel?
No, well, we don't get the History Channel, but what's Alone about, Patsy? Because maybe I can find it. Teresa's from the same plant?
No, two different plants. One's habanero peppers, and the one that I've got, I can't remember what the other one is, but the habanero peppers aren't hot. But the other one, I can't remember the name of the pepper that's there. I have to look at it again. And it was like mega hot.
Well, you thought it was mega hot, but I guess the piece you gave me, it was a little nippy.
But I mean, I was handling it, and about half an hour later, my hands all went numb, and they were all burning for a couple of hours. And then even then after that, like I took my contacts out last night, and my eyes were burning.
Well, I was going to say
and then they were burning again today when I would put them back in. So, well,
that's kind of like okay. So be careful what you touch.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hot time in the old pet tonight. Never mind. With that, so yeah. I mean, we've got lots of lettuce right now. We haven't been eating salads.
No,
but we should. But I'm really going to, because soon there'll be nothing. That stuff will all died off now for the fall and the winter. So I'll mix.
Actually, I was thinking of getting some latex gloves. I have latex gloves downstairs, but then Laura came over, and when I was putting my contacts in, and for Laura for the paints, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't want to run down in my underwear to get my.
Oh. Yeah, really. Give her a thrill. Where they take participants, put them in obscure locations, and one who lasts the longest, all alone, wins $500K. Used to be 1 million. Nope. Have to look that one up and see. It sounds more like Survivor or something like that. But
I always have a weird time with that because, I mean, seriously, they're put in a remote location, but there's still cameras and everything else there.
It's scripted. When I taught media, I showed the kids about that. It's all scripted. They know what's going to happen. So,
I mean, there's all cameras there and everything else. It's not like they're alone.
No, that's true. But anyways, it's reality television. So that's the kind of television we have these days. So I can't think of anything else we watched exciting. Of course, we're watching the next season of American Horror Story, but it's on. I don't know what it's on because I download it. Don't tell anybody how I do that. Um,
Jeannie says had the same experience with hot peppers when she was in Africa. I had to go to the hospital.
oh, geez. Well, I have heard of people getting the hot peppers on their hands, like really hot pepper stuff, like what he did, and then touching their face or touching their eyes and just like burning.
Well, actually, last night when I was touching my face, and I was getting my face was starting to burn as well. So.
Marilyn says, I watched that impeachment show and I was so confused, not impressed as yet. What's the impeachment show? I don't know.
Never heard
one.
of that.
I haven't heard of that one. He says I'd curl up somewhere and sleep longer than anyone else. Oh. Yeah, so anyways, what else has been exciting this week? We didn't really get it. Well, you got out. You went to the grocery store.
I went to the dump.
Oh, several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Well, we call it the dump. It's not really
land transfer or what do they call that?
It's a transfer station. They don't actually dump the stuff there. They just it's a place where you deposit your stuff and they take it and move it somewhere else. So.
I just realized I put that black little box on top of that bigger one. I don't like that.
Anyway, they just take the site. It used to be a landfill site many, many years ago when I was growing up, where it's located. But the area that is, they take all your garbage and they relocate it wherever they relocate it. And like they take stuff like electronics and they recycle it, and they take things like if you throw stuff out that's a lot of metal, they recycle it. They recycle what they can, and cardboard and everything else. So
and charge you
for that.
Yeah.
So far, I think I'm pushing about $75 for throwing it out.
Yeah. How much?
About $75.
Is that what it's cost you?
Well, I've got every time I go, it's like $13 or $17. So.
Holy shit! God, it's like. Well, what did you put it on? Your credit card?
Yeah, I did because that's the only one that's tap, and they like contactless. So.
Bye, Angel. Well,
I have tap on all my cards, but none of them work except for one.
No, you're tapless. Okay, whatever. Okay, well, we can pay for that from the house account.
Yeah, whatever.
So, hey, you two look pretty spiffy today. Do you have your cocktails set up also? Hi, Lynn.
No, we're just having beer.
No, we just got into beer these days. Yeah, the beer is empty now, but that's okay. So I don't know what else to talk about. This might be a short one today because I can't think of any. We've just been busy all week cleaning out garbage.
Lots of garbage.
Did you find anything you'd forgotten? Oh, you found your Meccano set.
Well, no, I knew it was there.
Oh.
No, I did find a few things that I had forgotten that was there. Like actually, I had a router that I bought, which is like a tool, right? That it does like, makes indents in the side of wood and that. And I bought it when I retired it with the intention that I was going to use it to do like frames around stuff and that. And so I bought this one that was on sale. It was pretty elaborate. And then I bought this router table and I bought all these bits to go with the router.
I never used it.
I never used it. It's sitting in a corner and there was a big, huge box with it. I didn't even realize how elaborate a router I used. I got something called a plunge router, which was more expensive. And so I phoned up my sister, and my brother-in-law's into doing woodworking. And
when he doesn't cut his fingers off.
Yeah. And my niece of all people, does some woodworking as well. So I asked if they thought more for my niece, if she was interested in having it, because if I haven't used it in 3 years, I doubt I'm going to be using it now. And I know where it is. I can always borrow it. So anyway, my brother-in-law was keen to take it. My brother-in-law had an accident. I cringe a couple of weeks ago where he was replacing some boards on a deck, and his saw slipped and he almost cut off a finger.
Ooh.
But anyway, it's mending right now.
It's his
so.
middle finger, isn't it?
Yeah, it's middle finger on his right hand. So,
He's sitting around going like this all the time.
I went over there yesterday and dropped it off, and he was like happier than a pig and whatever. And I'm glad it went to somebody that wanted it. Plus, it wasn't major huge, but it was big enough to take up more room than it wanted it to. So
Teresa says, "What's the machine behind you, Walter?" That is my embroidery machine. That's my 550E in here. So I mean, we can't really show you what the room, well, we can. If you'll bear with us for a second, I'll show you what the room looks like. It means I have to move the camera, so there's going to be a little jerking around here. So and okay, get it down. So on this end of the table, sprawl, this is the table, all drawers underneath it. And at the far end is my sewing machine. I put it at the far end because when I do zooms, there's a TV. You can't see it. I may be able to show you, but it's behind me. And that's hooked to a computer, and I can see a zoom while I'm sewing on the ones where I sew and everything. There's a sewing machine down at this far end and a serger. So my second sewing machine is there. That's my travel machine, but I do use it at times too for quickie things. And my serger, I don't use that often. And way down at this far end, which you probably can't see very well past the sewing machine, by that window is let's get this turned a bit, is my pressing station. And then over here you have all my fabric all on display, which is where my craft stuff stayed at one time, where it was stored at one point in time. So it's coming along. Now I'm going to turn the camera, so don't get sick on me. I'll try to do it slowly enough. There's cupboards up here. Those have always been there. And in this corner, this is where the TV is I'm talking about, and the other computer, and my Alex unit that has my embroidery threads and everything. And then this is the 3D print mill. They're all laid out there. And of course, more cupboards and everything like that. So yeah, that's basically what it looks like. But as I said, I'm going to turn you all around, so don't watch for a second because you're going to be sick. I have videotaped, I have recorded each stage of the clean out and everything. And I will put a video together at one point in time in the near future, so you get a little bit more perspective on it. And you'll also get to see everything that I had laid out, because in the other room, and this room too, at the time, I had tables all set up with, it was like a store. It was just like a store. So, yeah, you know, Lynn, I wish it was bigger. You know, if I had about 2 more feet on the ends and the width, it would be even better. But yeah, it's coming along. But anyways, it does make life a little easier than what I had before too, as well. Especially for the cutting, I think it's going to make a vast improvement on here. But yeah, so this morning, Walter put all the Alex units. There are 8 of them under there, but 4 of them were from the existing setup I had in the other room, and we bought 4 more plus another tabletop for it to double it up. And some assembly required, as we all well know from IKEA, right? So Walter started at about 10 o'clock last night when I went to bed.
And I finished at 2:30.
Yeah, this morning. They were all ready to go when I got up, so I got them all put where I wanted to. Well, Lynn, I am kind of an organized person to start with. I can't stand a mess. However, I'm also one of those kind of people that will hide things in closets, if you know what I mean. You know, so that's what I have to do next. Is everything right now is out of sight, but it's not exactly where I want it. And I still have a little bit more I've got to get in here. Like I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put my batting.
Is that all your fabric?
It's all my fabric.
Oh,
Well, there's fabric in drawers too, but it's the
I gotta
pieces.
store my fabric like that.
Yeah, well, it's easier to see what you've got,
Yeah.
you know. And then, you know, the ones that are laying down the other way that aren't vertical horizontal, those are backing fabrics because there's more of them there for that. But yeah, so, and one of the, you can't see it, but down near the ground level, there's one shelf, the lowest shelf, that has all my scrapbooks in it. That when I first started doing scrapbooking. Is that, it's not all my fabric. No, Jackie. I have little blue containers in the drawers that are marked. They are more, they're bigger than scraps, but they're less than a meter. And they're all organized by color groupings in the drawers. And, you know, they look kind of like, I'll show you one here. One out. That's not the right drawer. Okay. I can't find it. Here we go. Okay. This one's strip pieces. It's not quite what I was talking about, but this idea, I have them in these. And so I know the colors and different things with it. And I just realized, too, I've got a drawer here full of jelly rolls. And my charm packs are all here, too. I don't have them out on the shelf. They're in the drawer. So, yeah, there's more fabric. Not just what you see of that, but those are my large pieces of fabric. They range in from 1 to 2.5 meter sections of all of that. Oh yeah, Lynn, you missed that. We talked about that earlier. She's okay. She's not perfect, never will be, but she's doing okay at the moment. So yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's what's all been going on this week. So nothing else to talk about. So I think we will cut off a little bit earlier today.
Yeah.
Because unless you have specific questions or something you want us to discuss or talk about or bring up, yeah, we've got nothing.
No.
We live such an exciting life.
Oh, we voted.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. We voted in the advanced polls. Because we figured on the day of, it might be kind of hectic because you had to go through where we went to do our voting in the advanced poll. We went through about 3 different people before we got up to where they would give us our ballot and mark us off on the voters list and everything like that, you know, because they're all taking the COVID precautions, which is fine. I'm glad that they're doing that. That's a good thing. So yeah, we're all voted. We watched the debate the other night. Oh, that was a joke. I'm telling you, the morons that we put into power in our country, just, I mean, one party is all going on about, you know, they're going to put all this money into social services and different things we need, low cost housing and all this kind of stuff. And they're going to get the money from the billionaires in our country that aren't paying their fair share. We don't have that many billionaires in Canada. So when he says billionaires, I think he means people who might make like over $200,000 a year or something like that. Well, yeah, I agree that people who are making millions of dollars need to be taxed for that as well. But he's just, that one's...
Well, not only that, they didn't really cost out their plan.
No,
so,
they haven't got a clue.
So they don't really have a clue, so...
Meanwhile, the 2 main opponents to each other, Justin Trudeau and Aaron O'Toole. Justin, of course, is the Liberal Party. O'Toole is the Conservative Party. And O'Toole had no plan either. He was just attacking Trudeau left and right about this, and with fake news and other things. And then Trudeau would go back at him. So it was mostly between the two of them. Then we had the party, the Bloc party, which is from Quebec, and all that he's interested in is Quebec, which he calls the nation of Quebec.
Quebec considers them a separate nation, so...
Yeah, they're not. They're a province of Canada, you know, but... And he's got no chance of ever being a
well,
prime
his
minister.
party aren't really represented across Canada.
No.
So
So
they're really only in Quebec. So they'll only ever be in Quebec.
yeah, so how do they expect that they're going to like win
Yeah.
anything on that? And the leader of the Green Party, all she was interested in was talking about systemic racism and all that kind of stuff. You know, and she's got no chance. The Green
She
Party
didn't
has
really know
no
what
chance.
she was talking
No,
about.
she doesn't
So
clue. And she's
all
having,
she kept saying is like, my dad did this, my mom did this,
yeah,
my cousin did this. Like she kept going on, and they have some big infighting in this party as well.
within their
So
party, yeah. Yeah, the people that have money earned it. They give to charities. Yeah,
that's true. You would hope so.
you would hope so. Yeah. But I mean, I think the whole point that they're being made is the proportion of tax that and the opportunity to have tax loopholes for the rich is greater than for those of us who are the middle class and less there. And I think that's what they're going on. But that's still not a solution to it all because the rich are rich for a good reason. They know how to make money and they know how to hang on to that money or to put it somewhere where nobody's going to
Yeah,
find
well,
it.
this party leader that they have for this particular party has been somewhat ineffectual. So I think they need a new party leader.
Yeah, they do. He's not very good. And who else was up there that had, I guess that was all of them. They didn't have the PPC, which is the party's
No, People's Party
of Canada, which is a joke and a
which
half.
is a very ultra, is conservative right?
Yeah, it's very, very,
very,
right.
very, very right.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And yeah, they have even less chance getting in. So yeah, so really it's the big fight is between the liberals and the conservatives. And I don't know. I think Justin Trudeau made a mistake calling for an election now. I don't think that stays that makes him stronger for doing so.
No.
And so what I'm worried about is the conservatives could get in. If they do, though, I think they will be a minority government. But then that means...
Yeah, Americans don't really understand.
No, they don't
minority
understand how that
government,
works. But it's a very ineffectual form of government, really, if you want to get something done. So anyways, that's where we stand. And so I guess, not this Monday. Next
September
month.
20th.
Yeah, so next
is the actual voting day. So
voting day. So we'll see what comes from that. Who knows with it all. Judith says, what's for dinner? Pizza.
Probably pizza tonight. We haven't had one in a while.
No.
So
and we're both tired.
And we're both kind of tired.
I'm very tired and sore. I am so bloody sore. I'm using muscles I don't usually use. So, and of course my iWatch keeps telling me, "Oh, you've met your goal for fitness today. Good for you."
Yeah,
yeah, right. Whatever. So yeah, I think we're gonna. Yeah, that's good. Good timing and everything. So yeah, we're gonna go off and do dinner and whatnot, and watch our bodies seize up from everything. So we'll see everybody next week, if not sooner, on the other things we put out during the week. And I hope you have a good weekend, or what's left of it, and stay safe, stay healthy, and all that other stuff. Okay, so thanks for joining us today, everybody. So we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.